ask Amrit. We spoke about the vaccination part of it, and of course, now we believe that India is going out and procuring as many vaccinations as possible from the rest of the world. I believe 20 million have gone from the United States dosages. And these will finally find their way into the system. But I believe there is this scramble to go all over the world and procure as many dosages as possible, which should have been done a long time ago. Anyway, do you think that is a plausible way of stopping the spread? What else can be done to stop the spread as it is now? Because the way people are huddled outside hospitals, the people are huddled outside cremation grounds, the people outside, there seems to be nothing else happening that will stop these deaths.
Apart from vaccination, I believe many states and many cities still do not have even partial lockdowns. Life is continuing normally, quote unquote, normally, because there are no restrictions. There is curfew in some cities, but many cities, they do not have curfew still. So restaurants, movie theaters, everything functioning as if, there are no cases of COVID. So definitely some sort of, I believe that they're not, they do not want to impose restrictions because it would badly affect the economy. But I do not think that letting people die is also good for the economy. So I think if you do some sort of cost benefit analysis, I think definitely imposing a lockdown, though it may be harmful in the short term, would definitely help in the longer term, because so many people dying is definitely not good for the economy. And imposing a lockdown, even if a partial lockdown, or restricting social gatherings to a bare minimum, that would definitely help, apart from vaccination, because vaccinating a population of 1.3 billion will take time. There are now reports that say that it will only be until late 2022 when every Indian is vaccinated. So it's not possible, I think, even if you procure vaccines from every country, for us to get vaccinated in the next 6 months or 7 months.
But is that a short-term view? If you put a lockdown for 15 days, like I know some states have, like Maharashtra has and New Delhi has, how's that going to help? Because at some point in time, those 15 days are over, then you're back. Then you're back in congregating people, and the virus flows again. Because we've been able to control it over a period of 15 months, and even now we're afraid that a new variant would change our lives again.
So, Meera, can I add some color?
Sure, Sanjeev.
So, I have invested into different companies and different countries. The biggest example we have is Singapore and New Zealand. These two countries did complete lockdown, and that's the only way they could solve this issue. Vivek Murthy talked about herd immunity day before yesterday, and we got him on our IIT 2020 event too. And same thing. I don't believe even US we can get to the herd immunity, because 30% people will never take vaccine, right? Mm-hmm. And even 70%, we are saying only 30% took it. Where are those 40%? These are just numbers. People are just throwing these numbers. So globally, we are all rolling the dice. It's like Las Vegas. I'm sorry to say it. We are playing with our life as if we go and play and gamble in Las Vegas. So the problem I am having is with every single person, we can blame US government, we can blame other countries, what happened in Italy, what happened in every single country. I don't want you to blame any of the government or anybody else. As a human, we have to take ownership. We have to do the right thing first. And yes, government should do right things, but as I'm not taking the responsibility of my own life. My own brother, who is setting up a 300-bed hospital, he was partying 2 months ago with 800 people, 2,000 people. And I say, what's wrong with you? So the challenge is people have to understand and educate themselves. Here, healthcare workers, I know 3 healthcare workers, they work in the hospital, they are not ready to take a vaccine. I don't know what to say about it. They are educated, they go to the hospital, they see people dying every single day. So it's who's the good citizen? How do we define a good citizen? I think that is what's missing globally. And we need a definition at a global level, not at India level, not at China level, not at America level. The problem is we don't have a model. And we are fighting with each other. We are chasing the things, oh, we can do that. No, it has to be fixed at home. That's the first reason we picked IIT as a place. We said, we are going to vaccinate every single person in IIT. If you're entering to IIT campus, we'll make sure you're vaccinated. How we do it, we don't know. We are working on that. We have to go back to the basics and fundamentals, how things work.
You're right, Sanjeev. I believe a lot of schools here in America are also putting in a vaccine mandate. You cannot really go back to campus if you've not been vaccinated. I guess that will need to be, and I know a lot of offices are going to put that mandate in as well when they open up come summers. I believe Alphabet is going to put in that mandate. Facebook is going to put in that mandate too. So when that happens, I think there'll be a lot more people that will take this a lot more seriously. But having said that, we're looking at a very big chicken and egg situation, and I'm opening this up to the panel, whoever wants to answer this. We're looking at a situation where the government has failed at many levels. The administration has failed at many levels in terms of policy, in terms of strategy, in terms of execution, right? And not only has it failed in terms of the planning aspect of it, it's given the wrong message out to the people by holding political rallies, by holding an election in the middle of a pandemic the way it did, by allowing religious fairs, by allowing cricket matches to happen. What they're telling people is, it's fine. Go ahead, Pari. Sanjeev, please let me finish, please. We're fine with this. If we can hold a political rally, you can, of course, hold a wedding, and please go ahead, have a party. So this is the message that's gone down. Then there are people who are like, we're immune. Nothing's happened to us so far. We're going to go out and party anyways. What's the worst that can happen to us? We'll catch COVID. We'll be okay. We're Indian. We're immune to it. We have 20,000 herbs that our ancestors have passed on to us. We'll be fine. And nobody's really thinking of the fact that if all of us fall sick together, what's going to happen to the infrastructure? And nobody's really thought of the fact that what does the infrastructure require if all of these people fall sick? And that's exactly what happened. This is a breakdown at many levels. It's a breakdown of public trust, of public infrastructure. It's a breakdown of just the commitment that people should have to themselves to take care of themselves. But it's also a big gaping, it just throws open India to the rest of the world in terms of, hey, these guys went around the world telling the world that we're ready for the world. If you don't have China, India's here. But hey, they don't even have basic supply chain in place. And the supply chain, not only in terms of, the healthcare infrastructure, but supply chain in terms of just the oxygen supplies. Sanjeev, to your point, we can do whatever we can do from here. We can send oxygen concentrators. We can organize. I know you're doing a lot of work organizing a lot of stuff from here. Your entire IIT, Pan IIT team is doing amazing work, just organizing stuff and sending it to India. But if India doesn't have the capacity or even the tankers to carry that oxygen, the last mile supply chain is missing. Then how are we going to fix this gaping loop? How are we going to help India?
So, Meera, there are two aspects of it. One is what is happening in India. What people are not looking at the bigger picture. We have 7.3 billion people on this planet. We are all connected. Every single person getting sick is going to create bigger problem for us. We are going to have 10 more, 20 more, 100 more. The challenge is this problem has to be handled at the global scale. My question is, where is WHO? Where is UN? Where are all these big organizations?
Well, they offered the Indian government support. Indian government said no, thank you. Just a couple of weeks back.
I'll go and do my fact check.
Please do that. They did. Hartosh, please confirm if that's the case.
Can I come in? Look, I would love to at this stage debate the norms of good citizenship and what we should all be doing. The fact is, we are in the middle of a catastrophe of unprecedented magnitude. Even if all of us sit at home today, this virus has a lead-in time to 10 to 14 days. That's already spreading through the population. People are dying every day. All the norms about good citizenship are not going to save lives over the next 15 days. To save those lives, we need interventions immediately, not by citizens, but by governments. by governments. If we do not raise these points, governments will not react. We can talk about global citizens, we can talk of global governments, we can, in the next 15 to 20 days, where there are thousands of people dying each day, we need government to intervene every day. We are
Completely agree.
people in
Hartosh, completely
absolute
agree.
use.
100%.
Exactly. And that's the point here.
200%
That is why we are
agree. And this
pointing
is
to
the
government.
case. This is
Sanjeev, just a moment. Hartosh, to your point,
Sure.
you said government needs to intervene, and they need to do something about it. Where is the gap that you see in the government? And this is open to Hartosh, you and Amrit, because you're closer to how the Indian government is working right now. Where is the gap that you see? Why isn't the government intervening? What's wrong? What's happening?
It has gone absent. We are seeing governance through the courts. The courts is ordering the allocation of oxygen. This prime minister, who is the most centralizing authority of all times, suddenly as COVID begins has said that every state must act on its own. We are passing laws which prescribe one agricultural zone for the whole country, but we want 50 different ways in which vaccines are to be distributed in every state, 50 different ways in which lockdowns are to be implemented. We need a national lockdown, and we needed it 3 weeks back. And the central government has been afraid to do it. Why is it afraid? Because of its own failures in the first lockdown. It was so badly handled. We need simple things like oxygen reaching people. These are avoidable deaths. I mean, I keep saying that these are not people who are destined to die. These are not serious cases. People are dying in homes without oxygen. Ambulance drivers that we are talking to are taking bodies from homes, driving them to cremation grounds, burning them, and there is no listing of this in official figures. And we are being lied to about these figures, which means we don't know how long we will be in this run. So we need oxygen, we need vaccines, but what vaccines at this point are secondary to the real problem, of which is just vaccines, of oxygen, of coordination of hospital beds, of medical supplies. And that does need government to do it. Citizens can't do it on their own.
Amrit, thanks so much, Hartosh, for that. Amrit, what do you say?
Yes, what Hartosh has said is 100% true, because it's been now 3 weeks, 4 weeks since, thousands of people dying every day. We still do not have a helpline that can if I want to find a bed, there's no number that I can call, like no government number at least, that I can call and find out where the closest bed is for me to go there and get admitted. Everybody is now on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, like amplifying messages saying, SOS, I need a bed. Please, somebody help me. And it's all citizens trying to help each other. And we're doing a great job, no doubt. But I mean, not everybody has access to Twitter. Not everybody has access to Facebook. There are so many people, like Hartosh is saying, where people who just sitting at home waiting, and or driving around in an ambulance trying to find beds, going from one hospital to the other, going to another hospital, and they end up dying in the ambulance. And I don't know how you can justify not creating a helpline, a basic helpline, which will help people find beds, find oxygen, find whatever they need immediately. This has to come from the government, from the central government, even state governments, local government. Everybody has to step up and do something. They can't just hope that, okay, people will find a bed somehow. You can't just leave us to our own, creativity at this point.
Yeah, out of 1.3 billion people in India, maybe only 17 million people are on Twitter, as per Twitter's own estimates. So you can only imagine how many people have access to even that information and are able to reach out. And if you look at anybody's Twitter timeline right now, it's all about ICU beds and getting oxygen supplies. Everything is a help.